there are around 800 million people on LinkedIn. So it makes sense to try and stand out. Now, when you want to search for somebody, you need to be very specific, because if you search for an accountant, let's say, you're probably going to come up with about 16 million or more results. Not very specific if you're trying to find a specific type or someone who is a decision maker. So we want to try and use a few Boolean operators. We have the search bar up here, and we can put in some basic search terms. Here I've put in a name, but I already had that name. And here you can see some examples of some Boolean search. So let's get into that in more detail. So here I've got a notepad, and on this notepad I'm going to write out the 3 types of Boolean decision makers. So a Boolean search, that's Boolean, is one that a search engine understands. And we have 3 types: and, not, or. Now remember that a computer can't do anything contextually, so you need to be able to give it specific commands as to what is and is not in part of the search. So here I'm going to write something such as accountant. Now it's okay to do the accountant search, and we'll probably come back with about 16, 20, 30, 100 million results. In fact, why don't we try it now? So I'm going to search for accountant. Let's see what we get. And we're going to filter that down to people, because there's lots of companies as well. And we can see we've got 7 million results. That's still quite a lot. Not quite as many as I thought in the first instance, but it's still quite a lot. And it's more than we can really connect with. So have a think about how the word accountant is used in their profile. So we can see down here we've got this person is BDO accountant, business services. So that's a role. Here we go, current accountant, experienced accountant, and accountant. Now, thinking about how the word is used, you might even consider that someone in their career may have been a junior accountant. Now, you can filter that out with a not junior or not student. However, at some point, some accountants have been students and they have been graduates. So it's important to think about the things that you are looking for. So I might type in management accountant to be a little bit more specific. And then I may want to filter certain things. So if you type in accounting, that's going to pick up probably the company name, A and B accounting, as an example. Or A and B accountants. So it's still going to pick that up. Now, one thing you might be able to do is put that into speech or quotation marks. And that's going to mean that that has to appear in that word. Otherwise, you might have gotten results where someone has said, I am an accountant and I deal with clients in management positions, etc., etc. That would pick up the words management and accountant, because they would both be in the profile. However, the speech marks mean that they have to be in that specific order. So now that we've got our management accountant, let's add some filtering rules of what we're not looking for. So here I'm going to type auditor, or I might just put audit. So that way it will filter audit companies as well as auditors and auditory services, whatever it happens to be. Auditory is obviously sound, but you get my point. And to further that point, if you are looking for a particular type of person, type in 3 words: collaborate, collaborative, and collaboration. As I said, the machine needs explicit commands. It can't interpret what you're trying to write. So in this version, you can go up to the point of separation or deviation. You can see that after the T, it's either E, IVE, ION. So you type and collaborate. So here, and you'll notice that this isn't to do with their profile, it's to do with their personality traits, because people talk about themselves in their summary fields. So here we go, we're going to say and collaborate. Now you'll notice that I've got a space here, that the operator is in all capitals, and that there is no space before the bracket. So that means that has to be a management accountant. They are not audit, and they are collaborate, and that will encapsulate collaborative, and collaboration. So now, whilst I've got this search here, you also need to think about your target audience. So management accountants probably don't or generally find a fair amount of work and do a lot of stuff through referrals, and probably don't have a lot of LinkedIn profiles very well connected. I found it very difficult to connect with accountants of all classes of people, and solicitors and lawyers. So thinking about your target market, thinking about your profile, think about who you are trying to connect with, what your profile says about you, and what you, whether they resonate with someone that you're trying to connect with. So you can do this filter, and you'll get that number down from the 7 million, but then you need to be able to actually connect with them. So think about the types of people that you want to connect with, and use those. You might add goal orientated. You might add certain fields to get more in. Now, the ideal list scrape is probably got about 300 or 400. If you do the most perfect search and you get no results, well, it's too tight. If you get 10 results, that's not enough, because you're going to burn that up pretty quick, and you've got a limited number of search that you can use every month. So let's check this one in as an example. And we've got no results found. So we can't find any collaborative management accountants that are not auditors. You're also limited on the number of ands and nots. I believe it's 3 of each, but you'll need to experiment. And these keep changing as LinkedIn change their algorithms. So that hasn't worked. So why don't we clear that one out and enter a search term that I know does work. So here, this one is business owner, not coach, not consultant, and collaborative. Now, if I'm looking for business owners, then I'm looking for business owners themselves, bearing in mind that coaches, advisors, and consultants in their profiles say, I help business owners. So you're going to encapsulate that. So now I'm adding not coach and not consultant, and they have to be collaborative. So if I've got let's just say I want to connect with sports coaches that own their own business, then I would not be able to use that not term for coach. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to click into this one, and now I'm going to go back to that people filter, and we've found 15,000 results. Okay, so that's a lot better than 7 million, but we can do better. Now we're going to use some other filters to bring that down. So I'm going to make my connections second. Now, second means that we've got someone in common. Third means you don't have anyone in common. They're just out there in the world. Show results. It's going to apply that filter. And now we're down to 494. Much better. Now, I could select the 3+ and the 2+. It's totally doable to select both of those. But for the purpose of this, I just want people we know. And then you can go by location. So I'm in Queensland. And we've got 141 results. And that's good connection. So now you can go through and connect with them one by one, and even do a little bit more of a filter. Personally, I don't like connecting with people that put logos in their profile image, because I want to be able to see someone and that I'm actually speaking to. And the other one I don't do is, say for example, this has a name, but if it was Shed Alliance as the name, I would not connect, because they're not using LinkedIn correctly, and probably only after going for the direct sell rather than having a personal connection. Like this one, Noosa Counselling. Obviously she's got her name there, Maria Hull, but you know, there's corporate profiles for a reason. And the other one is people with no profiles. I find again that they're not very active on LinkedIn and are probably less likely to actually connect. Whereas people that promote themselves as an individual, this guy's a solicitor, this one's a ID tags business owner, These ones seem a little bit more worthwhile connecting. Now the point is to be selective, because you only have a certain amount of time and you want to connect with the right people and less of the wrong. So spend your time doing a really good filter, find the right people that are good connections for you, and happy connecting. Thank you.